Hey guys and girls, it's Ken here from OKportugal. Welcome to a midweek property video. Now we have our regular vlog on a Sunday, so if you've come for our regular Sunday vlog, tune back in on Sunday. But if you're here for the properties, well, you've come to the right place. This week we have a property in a place called Ladoeiro in Castelo Branco district. It's on the market with Remax. I believe that at the moment someone has made an offer on the place, and so it might potentially be off the market. We wanted to show you this video anyway, just so we could show you what you could get for the money. And a special thank you to John and Deb from the UK who commissioned us to film this property video for them. They couldn't make it to Portugal. They're narrowing down their list of places to go and look at when they do get to Portugal. And so they've hired us to make a whole bunch of these videos for them. And they very kindly allowed us to share a couple of them with you guys here on YouTube. So yeah, if you have any questions about the property, I'm not the guy to ask, I just do the virtual tours. Please direct them towards Remax. I'm going to put their contact details in the description just below this video. So just look in the YouTube description and all of their details are there. Anyway, let's get into the video. I hope you enjoy. Hi John, hi Debbie, it's Ken here from OKportugal, and we are standing outside this property in Ladoeiro, which you've asked us to make this virtual tour of. It's a 3-bedroom house with 1 bathroom. It's got a sort of guest annex, which they're currently using as a kitchen, but you'll see that in a moment. It's got a massive attic, but actually you already know all of this. So what I'm going to do is just get straight into the tour and show you. From the actual listing itself, this place looks very different in person, and I'm very much impressed. So yeah, let's come and have a look. So these are the main front gates. They're made in metal, they're in pretty good condition. You do have a post box, so you don't, like us, we don't actually have a post box, and we have to have a PO box in the village. And this white wall here, all the way to where our car is, and just past the car, that's where the property boundaries are. And then the property extends all the way further back, and that basically goes all the way for 1 acre. And we've got a whole bunch of these olive trees, and yeah, a few little things. This wall will look amazing if you just paint it up. It's got nice sort of guttering and stuff here, so you aren't going to get any flooding or anything. The condition of the gates is pretty good. I mean, I think, you know, it needs a little bit of a paint, but they're not rusted. They work perfectly. Has a little locking mechanism on the back, and they've got a little chain here. So over here, this is where your water meter goes. At the moment, there's no water meter in there. As soon as you sign up to water, they come put a meter on and connect the house. And you can see this needs a little bit of a paint, but the actual driveway itself is pretty good, and you can drive all the way past the house and into the back gardens. Now, as you can see, there's wall and fence the whole way around the property, even on the front here. It's got sheep fencing, and on the top of that it even has a little bit of barbed wire. Okay, so look at these massive olive trees. I don't actually know how many there are, because there's a few in the front here, a few in the back, but it's quite a lot, and they're really nice mature ones as well. And we got some fruit trees. I'm not sure exactly which type of tree this is. It's quite a young tree. And then we obviously have, these are citrus trees. Now the garden itself, the owners of this property, they're deceased, and the family I believe lives overseas in France, and so as you can tell, you know, it hasn't been watered, you know, not much is going on with it. But they have come and they have cut all of the grass recently so that we can do this tour. And one of the interesting things that I want to point out here is this. Okay, so this over here is basically coming from a canal system. And basically, this canal system runs from Adania Nova Dam. And there's like a whole irrigation canal system. And this is irrigation water. And what you do is you sign up to this irrigation sort of cooperative, I'm not sure exactly what it's called, and you pay a certain amount every year, like 50 euros or something, and you can use all of this water. So this one, you can see the lid's been taken off. And over here we have, it's like, if I lift this up, basically the water will start to overflow and fill this and overflow. And I actually haven't lifted it up yet. I am carrying a whole bunch of camera equipment with me, so let's see if I can do it. Okay, it's not budging for now, but I must be doing something wrong. But anyway, I'm carrying a whole bunch of stuff, so I'm not really set up to do this. But essentially, in theory, how this works is you lift it up, the water raises, and then all of the water spills out onto the land here, and that's how you irrigate. There's another one just down there as we walked in, and so you can theoretically flood this area, and you can use as much water as you need. So that's pretty awesome. And as you can see, it stretches all the way across here. There's a couple more of these little irrigation points, and so you can basically irrigate this whole property for a very nominal fee. There is mains water, so whether or not you actually need to, flood the land is another thing. But I think it's a lot cheaper for you to use this system than it will be to use sprinklers and an irrigation system off like the mains. Okay, so this is the front of the house. Now, it's slightly different where this house is actually, well, I'll show you once I get there. It's east facing, so the front of this house is pointing at sunrise, and then the sun will set behind the house. So from the veranda here, the sun comes up on this side, goes right over the house, sets in the back. And in the summer, I think that's a really good thing, because you've got this big covered porch, and that basically stops the house from cooking. You've got no direct sun landing on the windows and, making the house incredibly hot. So let's talk about the front of the house. We've got a whole bunch of windows, as you can see. Now they've got these sort of bars on the windows, and I believe that's because, their family lives abroad, and obviously that's some kind of security for the house. Although our experience of central Portugal has been that, it's so peaceful and relaxed here, and crime is very, it's not really a problem. So I don't think you need to keep bars or anything like that on windows, but that's just our experience. There's air conditioning units, so there's one there, and on the other side of the house there's another couple. So there's aircon throughout the house. A really big porch, and you can see the actual roofing structure is concrete beams. On top of that they've got, I think these are like tijolo bricks, and then they've got like terracotta tiles on top of that. So a nice solid roof, and it does the same all the way into the roof and the attic of the house. There's a little tap out here, so you can use that for basically watering this garden. So from the front of the house you can have, well, they've got a whole bunch of roses. Obviously all of these things weren't watered for a while, they've just been left. So I think they've had a gardener or someone come and just basically cut everything back. Because the photographs that I saw, the whole place was very overgrown. So all very nice. These aluminium shutters in quite good condition. Aluminium windows. The only thing I would say about these windows is they're single glazed. But other than that, they're in very, very good condition. And as we walk our way to the front door, we've got your electric meter on here, so they don't have to come into the house to read the meter. And now we have the front door. Feels like aluminium. I'm not sure if it's insulated or not, but it does feel like, I think it's some kind of sandwich insulation in there. So like an insulated front door. Right behind the front door we've got the electrics meter. And let me just stand on this side. So now we've got the front passage. And this is like the main passage going through the house, straight through to the kitchen. We have a living room on this side. I just want to point out that this passage is quite narrow. It might feel a bit more narrow because they've put like furniture or something inside, but it does feel a little bit narrow. But yeah, very high ceilings. And also notice there's just a little bit of peeling paint just on the sides of the wall here, but I mean, it's not a biggie. It doesn't look like the plaster's bubbling or anything like that. It's just a little bit of paint coming off. So not too much of an issue. Okay, so we're going to start with the living room. And that's Gina over there. Hello, Gina.
Hello.
What do you think of this place so far?
I really like it. I think it's got a really nice feel to it. It feels like it has a nice flow when you look. We started when we were showing around on the outside and then came into the house.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's really nice. My only concern, I think, would be is there's no heating in here, but I've just been looking, there's loads of places you could put a wood burner.
Yeah.
Like in that corner or...
Yeah.
maybe not in the kitchen, there's not enough room, but in that wall up there, so you could heat it.
There's also air conditioning units in this house, so potentially you could get the heating off there.
Yeah, but it's very clean.
Yeah. I think once you see the rest of the house, I think you'll start to agree with Gina. Obviously, coming through the front door and seeing the narrow passage and the little bit of paint peeling is probably not the most appealing thing, but it does get better, I promise you. So, this is like a living room space, and then we have a dining room space. And it's quite a big space. Yeah. So it's quite a nice size. A very nice size. And they've managed to fit a whole bunch of sofas in here. And I mean, there's even tons of space behind the sofa set. And if you go over here, they've got a 4-seater table and a very big sort of wall unit. So it's a nice amount of space, very usable. And one of the things I did notice is there's a picture of the house from the air. So there's the main building which we're in, and there's the veranda. This is where we parked the car. Anyway, let's get back on the tour, and we'll see you in a bit, Gina.
Bye.
Okay, so now we work our way back through this sort of hallway passage area, and I think what we should do is start down in this direction. So the passage takes a turn to the left. First thing you get to is the bathroom. And okay, so the bathroom's a little bit dated. We've got like a sort of, I don't know, like a pinkish color, light pinkish color bidet toilet, you know, all of the ceramics. So, I mean, me personally, I would probably change those. But to be honest, there's nothing wrong with them. If you actually look at the condition, I mean, everything is spotless. It's just a little bit dated in terms of style and, you know, decor. But everything's very, very clean and painted. You could move in straight away. So there's a bathtub, looks like a full-size bathtub, and there's a place to put the shower. I would probably put that a little bit higher up so you could stand here. And obviously there's like a curtain rail. I mean, even the curtain, even, you know, everything is clean, and there's no mildew or anything like that. A lot of these houses that we tour are just covered in like mildew around the bathroom. So that's a really good sign. Very nice space. I think that's possibly something to do with the fact that there's air conditioning in all of these bedrooms, and that'll help dry things out. So this is one of the bedrooms. Now, this has lino inside. The rest of the house is all tiled with different tiles. Okay, so let's have a look at this one. They've basically fitted in a double bed with 2 quite large cabinets on either side, space on either side of the cabinet, and a very, very big wardrobe. So essentially you could get yourself a king or a super king in here and still have space, you know, if you started moving things closer up. This room has a ceiling fan and an air conditioning unit. So that'll come in very, very handy for either very hot or cold nights. And then you have views out to the front garden. Again, I don't know if I would have these bars on the windows because they do kind of spoil the view. But it's a very nice bedroom. You look back again from the bed and you can look back out through the house. And there's 3 bedrooms. Okay, just before we go again, I've just noticed there's a little bit more of peeling paint on the wall. So I think there's a little bit of a moisture problem there, a little bit of rising damp or something. But you know, worth noting is that this house is quite old. And if that was really a problem, it would be a lot, you know, if that was a big problem, it would be a lot worse by this time. So, yeah, there's just a couple more just in the corner there where you can see some of the paint's lifted up. But I honestly don't think that that's too much of a big deal. Okay, so we're in the passage again. Now we've done the first bedroom. They've got this very large piece of furniture in here which kind of blocks the passage. I'm not sure it's a good idea to have that there. But yeah, let's go into the next room. So this is the same size. Again, we have an air conditioning unit up on the wall. They've got a double bed. They've managed to pack a lot of furniture in here, and still you have space to walk right around. And so it's a really nice, decent size. And I do want to point out that these ceilings are very high as well. A lot of the houses that we tour, you know, I can practically touch their ceilings, whereas that's a full height door, And then there's almost another meter on top of that, or 80 centimeters or something. So very nice high ceilings. And yeah, this one doesn't have a ceiling fan, but it does have that air conditioning unit. And then we have the third bedroom over here. I think it's the same size, but they've just gone for a different layout. So the double bed pressed up against the wall, a very big wardrobe, and a dresser. Hello. And then we've got this window that looks out into the back garden. Very nice. All single glazed aluminium windows, so potentially you want to get that looked at and get those swapped out for double glazed and insulated. Okay, and then finally we've got this little room. It's like a storage cupboard. You can put your blankets and towels, you can hang some things up, put your vacuum cleaner. It's like a closet space. I would say it's about 4 foot by 3 foot. It's got a light. It's just a usable sort of area. Quite useful actually. Okay. So going through here, I'm noticing a few cracks here. I think these are superficial. I mean, this building is quite old now. And if that's the only cracks on it, that's pretty good going. And a few more little spots of the paint flaking off here. It doesn't look damp. I can't feel any water on it. Obviously we're in summer and it's quite dry. There's obviously some kind of damp in there, maybe in the winter, and then the paint starts to flake a little bit. And again, just on this side. But you know, with the age of this house, I don't know how much of a problem that is. Okay, so finally we go into the kitchen. Now the kitchen, it's kind of small, but it's very neat. It's got quite new looking units. They've sort of been veneered, but they're very neat and tidy. You know, like everything's very clean. And let me just go in a little bit further, and you can see from this side there's a built-in fridge, freezer, all the built-in cupboards. Got quite an old cooker hob, but you know, it matches, it works quite well. And it's not a very big kitchen, but it's got everything that you need. But there's actually another kitchen, so I'll show you that in a bit. But here you go, double sink, so you can wash up and you can rinse. There's a gas boiler on here for the hot water. And I mean, even like a removable tap. So pretty cool. You know, it's a little bit dated, but very clean, very functional, and a nice space. And there's even a little table here where you can have your breakfast and sit down while you cook. So all in all, pretty good. Right, so this is the like the aluminium back door, single glazed, and then there's an aluminium window. So you can have this open and you can have a nice breeze going through the house or the kitchen. So let's open this up. And now we work our way onto the sort of back patio veranda area. And it's very much like the front, stretches all the way like the same width of the house. As the sun goes down to set in this direction, you don't get any direct sun hitting like the windows and the walls of the house to heat up the house. So it's quite nice to keep the house cool. A very nice space. And then this leads directly to the sort of guest house and the storage room. So let's just have a look at it from this side, because there's another 2 air cons. Look at that, one there and one there. And you would see that that's the one in that one bedroom in the back there. And this is the aircon unit for the living room. So looking back from the patio now towards this like outdoor kitchen area and storeroom, we've got a whole bunch of concrete. And Paulo, the estate agent, was just pointing out that obviously it's quite old now and it could really do with like putting some tiles or something on here. It would look really amazing. But what the owners have done is they've built this metal frame, and the idea was to almost build like a passageway between this outdoor kitchen area and the main house. Obviously there's nothing wrong with this kitchen, but potentially if you've got a large family or you've got lots of people or friends around, to have a bigger kitchen and to have a social place where you can cook meals and sit around the table and stuff. I think that's how they basically planned their way of living. And so this gives them almost like a covered walkway when the weather's not so good. But yeah, it's quite a nice space. So you've got the main house and then you have this building over here. Now this building's divided into 2. So you've got the storeroom on this side and then you've got the kitchen on this side. So let's start with the kitchen. Just before I go there, look, there's an outside tap. So you can use that to, stick a hose pipe, irrigation system. It's all very nice. And then you look back at the house from here, look at that. So it looks good. Looks pretty good. They've got new paint on the outside. The tiles have got a little bit of mildew on them, not mildew, like a lichen, and the tiles are a little bit dirty, but they all look to be in good condition. I don't see any cracked ones. They could do with a jet wash or something like that maybe. But it looks pretty good. I've been up in the attic so far and I couldn't see any signs of water damage. But yeah, so, okay, outdoor kitchen. We've got another one of these aluminum front doors, single glazed, some bars on it. And then we have this big room that's basically a big kitchen. Look, they got fridges, they got washers, they got a dishwasher, cooker, sinks. There's like an aircon unit up here, fans, water heater, a lot of stuff. Fireplace. This actually has a wood burner in it, so a nice closed wood burner unit. It's quite a big room, lots of space, Got a nice big freezer in here. I'm actually not sure whether or not the furniture comes with this property. That's something that you're going to have to discuss with the owners or the estate agent. And over here they have a very basic window. So it's a very basic single glazed window that has a very basic metal shutter on it. So it's potentially something that you'd want to get changed. You can see it's quite thick walls. And they've got this fly screen on here. Because a fly has just flown in here, I've just heard it. But yeah, it's a nice space, man. It's a big size. You were mentioning that you wanted to try and see if this could be turned into like a guest accommodation. Obviously like this, you could do it like a studio where you have like a sleeper couch or something, and then you've got your kitchen area. But there's another option, and that is basically if you were to go, obviously you didn't have these dressers and stuff here, but you knocked into the storeroom next door, and you turned the storeroom into the bedroom area, and then you had this whole main area as like the kitchen diner. So that would be a lovely guest accommodation. Now look at the height of this door, look at the height of the ceiling there. You've got another 1/2 meter from the height of the door. And then it goes up. So the back of this room is very high up. I don't even know, it's very high up that. So yeah, a nice amount of space in here. It doesn't feel claustrophobic at all. And then let's go next door into this storage room. Storage room again has one of these aluminium doors. Actually, I think this is a steel door with single glazing on it. Now this one over here, they haven't, you can basically see the roof tiles. This is more of like a storage room. There are some nice tiles in here. It's got a nice fireplace. Paulo, the estate agent, was telling me that this is a smoking room. So normally you would have the fire hearth coming out about there. This is extended out. So you make a nice big fire, and then you bring the coals out here, and you shut all the windows off, and then you hang your meat and your sausages and things up on the top here above the fire, so all the smoke comes up. And that's what would have happened in the old days. Obviously now it hasn't happened for a while. You can see the walls aren't black or anything like that. But that's originally what this was for. And so you could build a big fire and bring all the coals out here and make a lot of smoke in here. Okay, I've nearly knocked this over. Let me just put that back. Okay, so essentially you could knock a door on the wall here and you could have, this could be a bedroom area. So you could have a nice big bedroom with a fireplace, and maybe you could section off a little corner on here and turn that into a shower cubicle and toilet. Or potentially you could have a shower and toilet joined onto the side of the building here, and maybe this window becomes a doorway or something like that. So there's quite a few options that you could do with this room. But this whole side of the building, this whole sort of annex area has electricity. The kitchen has water. It's got plumbing. And yeah. So very usable and very nice. And on the subject of plumbing, there's a septic tank system. So there is a septic tank. I'm not sure exactly where it is, but I believe this will be part of it here, probably coming from this annex. And then it steps down to this one here, and then I'm not sure where it goes after that. Possibly down in that direction. But yeah, it's not municipal sewage. There is mains electricity, and there is also mains water. And then there is obviously the water that comes from the Idania Nova Dam on that irrigation scheme. Right, so now we're going up the stairs and we're going to the attic. But look at this. So now you've got views all the way up here, and look at the views stretching across here. So you can see the mountains, and in the distance there, that's Idanha Nova, so the town of Idanha Nova. And Paulo, the Remax estate agent, was saying that between those two trees, that's the direction of Idanha Nova Dam. So it's not too far away, and that's a massive dam. You can go there, you can swim, you can take jet skis and boats and all sorts of stuff. So very nice. Now this is a very small landing, and Paulo was also pointing out that that's the end of the patio of the main house, but this is all a concrete footing. So potentially you could just extend this patio and maybe bring it out a bit more and actually have a lovely sitting area up here where you've got these beautiful views. So that's pretty cool. Now, this is a full height door, and it's quite wide, it's an aluminium one. And now we're in the attic. And I want to point out that, let's do it this way so you can see. Now normally when I'm in an attic, my head is touching. I can't even touch the roof there, look at that. So there's a lot of space in here. I'm very impressed with that. I think you could actually turn this into its own like living area. I'm going to walk, wait, let me turn the camera this way, and I'm going to walk all the way across here until now I've reached height, and I can walk all the way across here again. So there's actually a lot of usable space in here. Now it's all concrete. You can see the condition of it's pretty good. I'm not seeing any wet spots or anything. I'm not seeing any cracked tiles. It's all in cement. So, you know, the roof is nice and strong. It's in good condition. And you could potentially turn this into a whole new flat up here. A whole new flat with a big balcony on the outside and incredible views. So yeah, I think this is really good. I'm impressed with this. So I'm just walking my way down from this attic area, and the stairs are in very good condition, the rails are in very good condition. I think it needs a little bit of paint, but that's about it really. It's a very hot day here, as you can see. It's 35 degrees. But one of the nice things is the inside of the house is not very hot. So even though there's air conditioning and all of that, these patios and the way that the sun falls over the house makes a big difference. All right, so now let's have a look at the garden. And I've shown you a little bit of the front garden, but now we're on the side of the house here. And again, you can see there's a whole bunch more of these olive trees. And I think these are pomegranate trees. So we've got olives, pomegranates, and you can see the fencing all the way along here. So let's go and walk around a little bit and explore. So this over here is a citrus tree. Now I think, you know, these trees have been neglected for a while. There's been like no watering going on or anything like that. So things aren't looking the greatest, and they've just obviously cut all of the grass back. So, you know, just bear that in mind. Come springtime, when it's nice and green and lush and you've got all the flowers, it's going to look amazing, you know. So this is the whole back garden area. It's all nice and flat. It's flat. There is a gentle slope running from the top down to the bottom, but it's a very gentle slope. I don't think it's an issue. There's no steps or terraces or anything like that. And now we look on the back of the house, there's this metal building. I actually never saw this earlier on, so let's just go and have a look at this quickly. I'm not sure what that is. Potentially it's like some kind of an animal storage building, but I imagine the animals would get very hot in there. Oh no, look, it's a garage. Okay, so this isn't open, but this is some kind of a garage. Now, in all honesty, the width of this, you would be hard-pressed to get a car in there. I think it's possible to get a small car in there, but I don't know. I would say this is more a storage area for something, but I haven't seen in there, and I don't have the key, so yeah, sorry about that. But it looks usable. So that could potentially be a place to store tools, bicycles, you know, maybe a small car, I'm not sure. But again, look, we've got all these big olive trees. Lots of pomegranate. Look, again, another pomegranate tree. There's another one in that direction. Okay, so this is where we get to talk about the neighbors. So on this side over here, this beautiful old stone building is actually an office. And I don't know if you can see it from here, but just over here is a canal. So there's a canal running right up here and right past the front of the property. In fact, your property that has the canal going through it, which is pretty awesome. I'll show you that in a bit. But this is the company that basically deals with the water. So they're the they're the company that services the canals, and they're the company that you would speak to if you wanted to be signed up to this canal irrigation system, and they would sign you up. And then this land over here at the moment looks like a bit of, it's been ploughed. The reason it's been ploughed is because there's olive trees, and in a couple of months' time people are going to come and get the olives. So it won't always look like this, but you can see because it's been ploughed, it has been maintained. And also remember, this time of year things are going to look very dry. As soon as the winter rains and stuff comes along, it's probably going to be all nice and green here. So yeah, but yeah, so on this side, look, you've got this company that does the water. We've been here now for about 2 hours. I can't hear any noise. It's very peaceful, so that's not a problem. And then on the other side you've got a farm. Well, it's not really a farm, it's more like it's a plot just like yours, and they've got some agricultural buildings, and so they basically grow vegetables there, and they have some livestock and things like that, but nothing, they don't have a house, they don't live there. Look over here, we've got like some plums or something, or sloes. And over here we've got some limes, or possibly young lemons or oranges, I'm not sure. Now all of these trees really need water. You can see that, this hasn't been watered in ages, so all of these plants are suffering basically. So someone needs to get in here soon and start irrigating them a bit. Obviously the olives are fine, and most of the citrus trees, the big ones are fine, but these younger ones, they do need a little bit of support. Look, you've got a lot of figs. Sorry, I'm waving the camera around left and right, but there's so much going on. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. We've got this canal system, and I'll take you there now. So there's a little gate over here, and unfortunately we could not find the key to the gate. So, yeah, I can't get through, but you can see exactly what's going on from the top here. So this would be the gate that you go through, and these are the steps that you go down to your very own bridge of your very own little bit of canal. Obviously you don't own the water, and you don't actually own the canal. This is owned by a company, and it goes through the land, but you can use the water. And this piece of land going up the back here is also yours. So this concrete post stretches all the way back in a straight line all the way to the road, and then it goes all the way in a straight line to the other side here where there's another concrete post, all the way to the road there, back up in that direction, and all the way to the other boundary line of your property, and all the way back to the road again. So you actually own another piece of land all the way across here. Now right now this gate isn't open. I can't actually access this. I can't get down here, I can't get over the bridge. But we can see everything. There's a bunch of olive trees, and I think in the background there's some aloes and some prickly pears, and it looks quite nice. All right, so now we have, okay, this is the only damaged bit of fencing that I've noticed so far. It's quite low here. So if you do have dogs and stuff, you probably just want to run a new line of fence across here. But the rest of the property looks pretty good. And now we have some like animal shelters. So this over here is like tijolo bricks, which are like these clay bricks that have got holes on the inside. And I'm not sure what goes in here. It's very short, and it's obviously some kind of storage. Hopefully not for an animal, because it doesn't have any windows. And then we work our way across this side, and we have what looks like some animal buildings, maybe like for a pig or something like that. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I don't think I would want to keep an animal in this, to be honest. But, I think this is maybe where they would keep a pig. Worth pointing out, there's a little bit of this fiber cement on here. So there's 1, 2, 3 sheets of it. So you probably want to get rid of this stuff, and you want to buy the stuff that doesn't have fiber cement in. This does have like asbestos in it, and that's obviously dangerous. You also don't want that finding its way into the meat of whatever animals you have, if you were to keep animals in here for eating. So yeah, so let's go to the very top corner, and then you can see from one side to the other. It's 1 acre. It's not a huge piece of land, but that means it's nice and maintainable. And it's got some cool features that we never saw in the actual property advert. So this is what I was saying earlier. From this concrete post, it goes across to the road where you just saw a little car come past, back there, back over the canal and back down. And this would all be your piece of land going down here, all the fruit trees, olive trees. So that's very, very cool. Now this is the neighbouring plot on the other side. This was a water tank, huge crack in it. I don't think that's going to be used again. Paulo, the estate agent from Remax, he's a very knowledgeable guy, and he pointed that out. And this is the neighbouring plot. So basically they have like an agricultural building on there, and they've got vegetables growing, they've got olives, and they have a little doggy who's barking at the moment, but you can't hear him from the house. And in all honesty, the house has been empty for a while, so the dog's probably like, you know, what on earth is going on there? Who's there? Let me guard. I'm sure if you gave him a few snacks, you could make friends with that doggy, and he won't bark at you anymore. But it's not a loud bark, it's actually a very quiet one. All right, so let's work our way back down. Huge olive tree, look at the size of this one, that is massive. I'd say that is a good 4 meters high, 4.5 meters. That is massive. So these olives have been here for a long time. Now I think if you irrigated and you got yourself a nice mower, I mean this is big enough to get a ride-on mower, and imagine how awesome this would look. Plant some stuff along the hedgerow here, maybe a whole bunch of vines or something. I mean if you planted vines the whole way across, if you were interested in making your own wine, you would have a big harvest. So that's an option. And yeah, all in all a very nice property. You know, as you were saying, you wanted like a space where you could stay. You got 3 bedrooms in there, potentially one's an office, then you got another 2 bedrooms. This over here, you got the outdoor kitchen area, but that could be turned into a complete guest annex, you know. A lot of potential. A lot of potential and a bit of work. You know, a bit of work to get it back to its former glory, but nothing too serious. Nothing too serious at all. Well, the tour is over, and we really like this property. You know, do you know what's so strange though, is we see so many different properties, and at the end of it, we're always like, oh, we really like this property. But you know, that's the thing. I think everything has its own unique charm. And with this one, there were very few defects. In fact, I think the only defects that I found was a little bit of paint that was peeling off along like the skirting boards in the passages. That was potentially a little bit of rising damp, and the fact that the garden's been neglected for a while.
And you'll need to find a way to heat it in the winter.
Well, you can use aircon.
Yeah.
You know, air conditioning is going to heat it. Obviously, that's going to chew electricity, but then if you get wood burners, then you're going to be chewing through wood. So, you know, potentially you could see how it goes with, you know, with the central heating. But yeah, I really liked it, man. You've got a whole mixture of fruit trees, olive trees. You've got tons of water, you know, like municipal water, plus that Idania Nova sort of water supply thing.
The canal thing.
Yeah. And I mean, that is worth a lot. I mean, just being able to open that up and just drench the entire garden.
Well, you got that bridge. You could put little chairs up on the bridge and just on a really hot day and just sit out there. But I was just saying, I really like the fact that it's a house in the centre of a plot.
Yeah.
Like, so you've got neighbours, so you don't feel too isolated and they're not too close.
Mm.
But it's kind of, no, I really like it.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of traffic, this road here, as you can tell in the front of the house, is very quiet. The road along the back, you know, I think now it's 6 o'clock, so there's a little bit of traffic there now. But nothing too much, and you don't really hear it from the house. And yeah, here's Paulo, the estate agent. He's just come back. So we're going to sign off, but we give this one a big thumbs up. And
we do. We'd buy it if we could.
Yeah, I was just saying to Gina, we would buy this for you know, for our parents. So. Yeah. But anyway, thank you so much for commissioning us to make this video.
Melons.
Oh, look at this. Paulo's brought us a melon.
Yeah.
Obrigado.
I already make a business.
Oh, wow. Gina, do you want to?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Obrigada.
So this over here is, this is like one of the neighbours who owns a little,
We just got a watermelon.
he owns a farm there, and he's just given us a watermelon.
This is the biggest one. So definitely this is for you.
Oh, wow. Okay. Jeez.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Wow, it's heavy.
We must put some of that special whiskey in there.
Yeah. I I also picked some for me.
That's amazing.
And
Yeah.
these three are actually the better ones.
Oh, thank you.
I asked him if he had something of the special gold from this village.
Ah.
Yes, I do.
Ah. Yeah, so the special gold of Ladoeiro is watermelons.
Yes.
So, okay, so Paulo's just going to lock up the house. We're going to go for a beer now. We're going to sign off, and thank you so much for commissioning us to make this video for you.
It's a nice one.
It's a good one, yeah, definitely. I think you're going to be impressed with this one.
Yeah.
Anyway, all the best and good luck with your search.
Bye.
Ciao.